Brianna is a magical grape and is rare here even in Vermont. If you meet her, you can't help but fall in love. The fruit is succulent, rich, and sweet. There are not very many plantings of it here in Vermont. We have one of the largest in the Le Carouge vineyard, named after the sharp-dressed red-winged blackbirds. The vineyard is outside of the village of Vergennes. Brianna is a grape that was originally bred as a table grape by the northern breeder Elmer Swenson from Wisconsin, a quiet and lovely man who loved vines, and it was part of the work he did for the University of Minnesota. Grape breeders tend to name their grapes after local villages or family members. Brianna is named after his granddaughter. We have an acre of 20-year-old plants that sit at the bottom of a west-facing slope looking out over the valley and the Adirondack Mountains. The sky is dramatic here with mesmerizing sunsets and a theater of clouds. The soils here are rooted in clay, limestone, and shale. The Champlain Valley sits on some of the oldest bedrock on the planet, the oldest fossilized subtropical coral reef existing on Earth. Geology speaks in wine, just like geography, hydrology, the farming, the decisions the wine grower makes, because the soil and bedrock is what the grapevines embed themselves in. Plants need mineral nutrients to survive, and we know that grapevines, like other plants, take up trace minerals imparted from the bedrock in the water through their root and vascular systems. This water cycles through the plant, its flowers, and its fruit like blood. If we ask the question, where does grape juice or wine come from? It's 80 to 90% of the water it drinks up from the ground. We know that grapevine roots grow very deeply, and they can grow 20 feet down, searching for that mineral layer, searching for deep pockets of subterranean water. In the Le Carouge vineyard, we graze sheep during the spring or summer, their hooves gently massaging the soil, their manure, saliva, and urine feeding the soil with a cycle of nutrients that allows the soil to capture back carbon. Brianna grown in this vineyard tends to make wines that mirror the limestone that stacks itself like a deck of cards underneath the vineyard. The Brianna grows in a semi-wild world during the summer, the understory rich in wild flora that participate in the health of the soils and the vineyard. Chiconfonde White 2025, fresh, frothy, floral. Someone said sweet peas and sesame umami. Chiconfonde. It confounds us, surprises, staggers, astonishes. Since we began making these pet nats in 2013, the Brianna fruit has grown up, diving into all that limestone beneath its feet, a breadiness and jasmine. The spring and early summer of 2025 had a rough start with heavy rains, followed by a wished-for drought. Autumn was warm and dry. Of Mint and Lightning, an exploration of other landscapes in Vermont and collaborations with other farmers. Brianna from a high alpine vineyard on the backside of Round Mountain, an undertaking of memory and dream. Fruit is grown by Shabir Kamal at the Thurber family farm, Lilac Ridge, in a field described by Daisy Fleabane, Carolina horse nettle, and limestone outcroppings. Dairy cows graze in the bony meadow above, where lilacs must have once been. 100% Brianna picked mid-September, fermented whole cluster, then destemmed, foot-crushed, and pressed, aged in glass demijohns, quietly aromatic with flowers, a ghost of granite, elegant and fresh. Ludor, the golden wolf, a mythical and resplendent creature said to be seen on the edge of the forest. A sister wine to the Flesh and the Bone and the Chiconfonde White. Textured, deep topaz from 2 days whole cluster maceration. We pick this wine last during harvest, letting the bunches hang, waiting for that golden color and flavor. Honeysuckle and limestone come to mind. Drink it with things like melon and prosciutto, lobster, bouillabaisse. but a glass at the beginning of the evening by itself, or with a roast chicken lunch, an indoor picnic during a cool rainstorm, sitting on the living room floor in front of the fire, winter or summer.